Well, I'm here at Charlie's Beyond Belief Expo. Can I go to conventions 4 weekends in a row, even on a work day? Of course I can. I once went to 4 conventions in a single week in 3 different states. Look, I'm on call. They could call me back any time now, so I got to get inside. I like Bigfoot. I like aliens. I like comic books. Maybe there's something here for me. Let's go check it out. See, there's the building. Never been out here before. I'll see you.
So right through the door, I ran right into Bigfoot. That's great. Had to get a picture with him. But who the heck is this guy? Help me out here. Tell me in the comments below. But speaking of Bigfoot, check out these cool Bigfoot things I got. So this is a wood carved in multiple slats, glued together, 3-dimensional type of figurine, diorama, what have you, right? Got Bigfoot in the woods there, in the northern wood. And then we've got the traditional Bigfoot here, and a Bigfoot hunt patch. So here's the whole collection together. I love it. And I saw this captured alien. Well, who's my favorite alien? E.T. So I had to add to my E.T. collection with these. Aren't these cool? Here they are with all of my E.T. stuff. Well, most of it. I've got some books and things too. Here's a closer look at that little Lego E.T. guy. He comes unassembled. You have to put him together. And I don't really know what this flaming Iron Fist power is for. Don't remember that from the film, but there you go. But from the same guy, I also got this cool Lion Voltron figure. This is really awesome. And I even got Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh for my daughter Tabitha, which I will give her when I see her at Christmas, along with all the other stuff I've been getting for her all year. Glad Tabitha doesn't watch these videos. It's a secret. And the last little alien thing is this crystal skull. Now, when I was very young, I remember seeing in National Geographic, very early 80s, an article about the real-life crystal skulls. And I was excited that they were going to be in the Indiana Jones movie. They were tying them into aliens, and then they made them alien skulls, and it was not the traditional crystal skulls that we actually have, so I wanted to get one myself. I'm going to put this on the shelf with all of my dinosaur fossils. And since I showed you one of the E.T. things I got was a Funko Pop, well, look at this. I got a Cthulhu Funko Pop. Oh, that was hard to get out. And let me show you the pictures. See? He glows in the dark. Now here he is with all of my Cthulhu collectibles. I'm having trouble with that word. Here he is with all of my Cthulhu collectibles. Well, again, some of them, I have a bunch of comics and things and books. Recognize Steve the puppet back there from the first episode of the Atomic Comic Pile? Here, of course, is the greatest thing I picked up, George Burns himself. No, it's not the greatest thing, but I was standing at line at another table and I saw this guy off to the side. I'm like, what in the world? And then the lady there picked him up and started I don't know, dancing around with him. And I said, how much is George Burns? And she's like, oh my God, you know who he is. Nobody knows who this is. I'm like, hey, yeah, I know who George Burns is. She goes, $10. I'm like, oh, that's mine. So I've got George Burns now. I love George Burns. Here's a better picture of him so you can see him head to toe in all his 100 years of glory. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And lastly, of course, I got a lot of comic books. Let me just quickly show you what I got. So here's the stamp I got to get in through the door. And first table I walked up to that had comics, I got every single thing he had. The first one jumped out to me was Confederate Monster. Sorry for the glare. Let me turn this off. There we go. Confederate Monster. He started describing it to me. I said, oh, that's mine. Then he said, how about this? About Vincent van Gogh and some kind of alien zombie apocalypse, something like that. And I was like, I don't know, that sounds awesome. Well, he had an alternate one. It's got not only a different cover, but inside it's black and white, except they select different things to make them in color. I was like, well, that's cool. Let me get that too. He goes, well, no. We got also issue 2. I got to get all that. And he goes, let me tell you something. I think everything I have here, you're going to like. And he started describing each comic to me, and every one of them sounded cool. Now, this is a Fort Myers homegrown comic company called Bent Box Comics. And they hire writers and artists that don't live here, but the publishing company does. And this was his, I think, inaugural debut, or was I redundant there? Putting comics out. I did actually get every single that's a thick one. Every single comic that he had there. Even this, I mean, it looks like it's for little girls. This was written and drawn by a guy whose daughter had died, and he made this comic as a cathartic therapy, if you will. I flipped through. You can flip through all of them. In fact, they did a cool thing. They put like white tape holding together the back pages, sometimes up to most of the comic itself, to keep you from seeing spoilers. So you can crack it open, you can look at it a little bit, you can look at the cover, but you can't see. Anyways, he would describe them to me, and I would just throw them in the collection. He goes, "You're getting everything I make. I'm going to give you a special bundle deal to your liking, and you have just made my day." Well, I like making people's days. And the next table I went to that had comics, I got everything that they made too. Look at this, Exodus 1 and 2. This is an anthology trade paperback full of all different stories. And then this comic here, the actual creator was sitting there at the next table, well, like, 12 inches away, and it's signed. This guy, well, not this guy, but the guy that I bought all these from, he actually recognized me. He recognized me from the first Charlie Comic Con that I went to back in January. So that's 10 months ago. I didn't even go to his table. I didn't even buy anything from him back then. I was only wandering around there for an hour 10 months ago, and he recognized me. He remembered me. How does that happen? What a memory on this man. And last but not least, there was a guy there just selling old comics. A lot of them were slabbed. I avoid those. He had one cool one that I wanted to get by Joe Maneely from Atlas Comics in the 1950s, but I didn't want to spend as much money as he was asking. Not that he was overpricing it. I don't know. I didn't even look it up. I don't care. I just didn't need it, and I didn't need to spend that much. So I just grabbed these. This is a Jack Kirby character, the Demon, but this is like his series from the 80s that, well after Jack Kirby was not working on him anymore. And I got Son of Satan number 3 because I think I picked up issue 2 at a previous convention, probably one of Charlie's. So, with that said, I'll see you next time.